Hello everyone, today in this video we will fight against the atmos character of our world around us, and today we will elaborate a little bit more about one statement. And this statement actually, it can be expressed in a different ways, but the statement can also sound like this, that times we live in are as good or as bad as people are living in these times. Or, as very often one can find recently on the internet, one statement I really like that is attributed to some people coming from Anglo-Saxon nations like US or UK, and this statement goes like this, that bad people create hard times create hard people, hard time create good times create weak people. And we see that here we have a circle, because weak people create bad times. And it goes. It rarely happens, but sometimes it happens, and I really like it. That very simple statement actually contains all essence of the historical mechanism of history of humanity. Of course, not all. History is much more sophisticated than it looks like from its surface, but sometimes very simple statement like this one with times and people, good times, bad times, and good people, bad people, really reflects the mechanism behind it, mechanism in history. And look at ourselves nowadays, how weak, in majority, of course there are some exceptions in any society, but in general, how weak as people, as populations we are. We are actually, especially last 30 years, overwhelmed by incredible materialistic prosperity. We have so many things around us we don't need. We chase after comfort and after materialistic goods more and more and more. Many people get lost into it. What is manifested, in my opinion, very well, but not only, but very clearly manifested by this pursuit for electronics. That many people think that electronics is a recipe for happiness, and they start stuffing even small kids who do not understand what's mama and papa, but they already have some electronics to click on it, and they do not have a chance, and they will never have a chance to develop some manual and intellectual skills, because they only click. So we see how weak as majority of representatives of our populations we are. And as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, we have a really sophisticated set of many crises at the same time. From morality, that collapsed almost completely everywhere, through economy, and finishing with demography, almost everywhere, that it's also collapsing. It's all interconnected, especially morality with demography and development, or destruction of a family, basic cell, basic unit of the society, each society. Yeah, there are some cultural differences and a little bit different ways of organizing details, but no one who has his or her sane mind can deny that family is a basic unit of the society. So we see how weak we are. So we now are living in a very good times that are creating, according to the statement that I said in the beginning of this movie, very weak people. So these very weak people, so we will create very bad times. That's why, to survive, the ones who will reach that time when everything collapses, and it will be sometime soon, in my opinion, within few years, we need to be really strong and tough to survive it and start the world from the beginning. I wouldn't say better or worse, but from the beginning, and let's try to learn from our history and our mistakes. Of course, we cannot avoid all of them, but at least some. If we avoid some of them, it would be already a success. And just, it wouldn't be me if I didn't recommend anything to read. And just to understand these processes I mentioned in this movie briefly more, I recommend to all of you to read classics theoreticians of civilization. Like Polish theoretician of civilization Felix Koneczny, his work on the plurality of civilizations is available in English, as title suggests. Mr. Toynbee, Arnold Toynbee, great British theoretician of civilizations, he actually was a very good colleague of Mr. Koneczny and even wrote a preface to the English translation of Felix Koneczny, Plurality of Civilizations, and he really appreciated this book and statements included there. And of course, one guy from Germany, also from living in similar period as two previously mentioned gentlemen, Koneczny and Toynbee, now Oswald Spengler and his Fall of the West. Oh yeah, there is comparison of the civilization development process. He tries to draw very strong analogies with the biology of the development of organism. It can be criticized and it's not good. Okay, but there are no perfect works. But his descriptions about the degradation of society, influence of the technology and civilization on people, especially the bad one, if people misuse the technological and civilizational improvements, his descriptions are very nicely presented, and especially his concept of Alexandrian society suits very well to majority of modern societies, especially developed one, European, Asian, North American, and so on, and very nicely describes this what we are observing now, like decomposition of morality, explosion of new form of being religious, decomposition of old forms of being religious, and many other things. So Felix Koneczny, Arnold Toynbee, and Oswald Spengler are to be read to understand more this statement, what I said in the beginning of the movie, that bad people, so weak people, I would say weak people, create bad times. So we are now creating bad times for us. Bad times create strong people. Strong people create good times. And good times create weak people. And weak people, like we know, create bad times. All the best. I wish you a lot of force, a lot of hope, a lot of will to work and act when problems come. And let's hope we will survive and start the things from the beginnings really soon. Have a nice day.